everyone, welcome to my channel. Hope you're all safe and well. I decided to post an addendum to the Multiplex Pilatus PC6 build. I felt I left it a bit open. I certainly left the fuselage open, a big hole in the bottom. But I left it a bit unconcluded, shall we say. It had a hole in the bottom, I hadn't set up the surfaces, hadn't balanced the prop. Also, I had ordered a receiver that hadn't arrived, and I'd ordered a servo reversing cable for the flaps that hadn't arrived. Well, in the end, that never did arrive, so I ended up putting the ailerons on a Y lead and using a single aileron channel for those. And the flaps, I decided to use left and right flaps in a channel each, and then I just reversed one of the channels. I don't show that on this addendum video, so sorry about that. This really concludes the build, and then after this, when the weather gets better and when I'm okay and ready to do it, I'm going to go back flying. I haven't been flying for what, 4 weeks now, 5 weeks, partly due to just life. I mean, I've been sick for about 4 days. The problem is that I work Monday to Friday, so I only really have Saturday and Sunday to fly unless I take a day off. And guess what? I took a day off on a Friday, and it turned out the weather was atrocious, so I couldn't fly. So I thought, well, I'll go on the Saturday. Turns out the club was closed on the Saturday for end of season maintenance. So they did all the end of season maintenance and I couldn't go and fly. So I thought, well, I'll go on a Sunday. And that same Sunday I couldn't fly because they had a scale contest there. So what a waste of 3 days flying wise. I got a lot done in our garden, I might add. Yeah, and just things like that. Just like today, it's a real nice sunny day, but it's blowing 25 miles an hour. I'm not going to fly in 25 mile an hour winds, especially with what I've got left to fly, because I'm trying to fly every single flyable plane in my fleet at the moment, and I've got about 10 more to do before the end of the year. But they're small, they're 800mm ones. Actually, they're not all small, because I've got to fly the 2-meter wingspan Night Radiant. But you don't fly that, well, I don't fly that in 25 mile an hour winds. I'm rabbiting on, so watch the video, enjoy it, and I hope you'll come and join me again soon on another one. Cheers. I wanted to give you an update on the Pilatus PC6 because it's ready to rock and roll. So up here in the nose, obviously we've got the speed controller, and now a place for the battery. What I've managed to do, I took up that Velcro I put down, and I've now got a strap in there as well. So I put the battery in up against the shelf that's just in here, strap it down, it Velcros down, and the CFG spot on. I've also got my adapters. This is a multiplex positive negative plug nail. So my adapters finally arrived. They came from China. You just plug it in there, and now I've got on the end is an XT60. So that's all done. So I'm trying to find a paint, a red paint that matches. I can't find one at the moment. Basically what I've done, I've stuck it back on. So there it is. It's strong enough, you know, it holds. I have used several cocktail sticks to pin it in place. And there is this air hole here, of course. So right below that air hole, inverted, stuck to the top of the cabin, is an AR630. It's been orientated, AS3X been set up on it, safe has been set up on it. It's all good to go. Oh, and a remote game control as well. I was having a WhatsApp call with Brian Forward yesterday, and I took the prop off because I was going to balance it while we were having a chat. I put it on the balancer and I actually showed Brian it's spot on. Didn't have to do a thing with it, exactly right. I do want to show you the surfaces and their movements. The main reason is obviously the rudder and the elevator are foam hinges, but these things, the flaps and the ailerons aren't. They're, I can't think of the name of it, Fowler. I think it's Fowler. I think they're Fowler flaps and ailerons, and they are awesome. And we've got the prop on now.
Throttle cut off.
Alright, let me show you those ailerons. Let's see the gap it makes. It actually comes out of the wing. I just want to show you these flaps because they're actually barn doors. So the book actually says landing flaps 90 degrees down. Wow. What I've done, I've used takeoff and landing flaps. So
Takeoff flaps.
that's my takeoff flaps.
Landing flaps.
They're my landing flaps, which aren't quite 90 degrees. They're asking me to make those flaps like that, basically barn doors. So what I've done, you can hear the chatter of the servo, and then I slowly back it off. There.
Takeoff flaps. Flaps up. Takeoff flaps. Landing flaps.
There's no more, so let's bring that.
Takeoff flaps. Flaps up. Takeoff flaps. Landing flaps.
So that's about as far as I'm having them. It's not quite 90 degrees. Yeah, that's still pretty cool. That's a big flap. Let's see what it looks like on the top of the wing. You can see the gap there. Massive flaps. Look at those.
Takeoff flaps. Flaps up.
There we go.
Takeoff flaps. Landing flaps.
I do have an elevator mix on the flaps. They recommend a 3% at 90. So I've gone 3% at whatever that is, 45.
Landing flaps.
And I've gone to nearly 25%, which is like a 10% down elevator. And until I fly it, I'm not really going to know.
Flaps up.
So I'll put it to safe mode.
High rate.
Put it to high rates. I don't know if you can see those move, but they do move. They move in all the right directions, which is all jolly good. Then I have AS3X. Of course, nothing's happening at the moment because I haven't given it any throttle.
Throttle cut off. Throttle cut off.
So I now have. You can hear that doing what it's supposed to do. It's very hard to show on camera. I had trouble with my decals because they kept peeling off or bubbling up. This one in particular was bad, so I took the whole thing off, covered the back of it with foam tack, put it all back on thinking I was being brilliant, and it all bubbled up. It all wrinkled and bubbled up as though you'd put heat on it. I thought, oh no. I managed to find a set of decals for this. It's for the blue version, but of course the Swiss logos are the same. So by the time I purchased that and it arrived, this had sorted itself out. I haven't done anything to it and it just went tight again. And it's not going anywhere. That is permanently on there now. It's got some creasing in it, but it's really fine. It's not, it's just tight and it's on there. Took some decals off. This MPX on the other side had HB. That's been peeled off so I could put down one of my camera mounts. The HB has been left on the top here. But here on the flaps it had multiplex. Now I now have a set. I could put them back on, but I'm not bothered. It's got multiplex MPX on the tail. Yeah, so that's it.
Throttle cut on.
See how much easier that is? Oh dear me. That is so easy. Yeah, so when you power it all up and do your bind, all you get is constant bleep, 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 bleep from the speed controller. What you need to do is switch it all off, power on the transmitter, put it to full throttle, then plug the plane in. You will hear it go through the cycle. AS3X will go through the cycle. It'll record the number of cells in the battery, beep, beep, beep. Then it does a long beep. Then it does one short beep. Then if you pull the throttle back, it'll do like a tone beep, beep, boop, boop, that sort of thing. And then it's set. The throttle travels are all set up for you. There's nothing in the manual about doing that. On the off chance that anyone does pick one of these up, keep that in mind. Yep, all done, ready to go. So thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay well. Look forward to you joining me on another video soon. Cheers.